the name of the message on Sunday was called "Let the Healing Begin," and I'll just read the introduction. It's just one paragraph, and we're going to just hit one of the steps. But it says, we all have broken places. We've all had broken places in our lives that God wants to restore. And sometimes life is not the kindest. As we live life, there are things that happen to us along the way, things that have caused hurt and pain. The problem is that if a wound is not healed, it will begin to cause other problems and pain that affects other areas of our life. This is true physically, but it is also true spiritually and emotionally. The good news is that we have a God who loves us and wants us healed. He doesn't want us to walk around in hurt or pain. So today I'd like to you to be open to the possibilities of maybe some areas in your life that need to be healed. And so we talked a little bit about that. There's a lot of different causes of pain. It's not just like maybe something that was done to us emotionally. It could be someone who passed away that we loved and miss. I've even talked to a friend of mine who's a pastor recently who he's doing well now, but he was diagnosed with cancer, and he was the emotional hurt that came with that because he had to stop doing some of the things he loved that needed some healing too. So the very first step, and that's the one that I want to talk to you about today, everybody, is this. It's okay to have an open and honest conversation about how we really feel. It's okay to have an open and honest conversation about how we really feel. I was just talking to someone recently who lost her husband, and young and hard, and I was encouraging her to just really be real with God. I know that we've talked before about when John passed away. A good friend of me and Nigel, I experienced a lot of anger through that, and that it wasn't fair, and it was, that was something that I had to work through. But I think that as Christians, we expect to kind of have the right answers, and I think that deep in our hearts we do. But sometimes when we're not feeling it, the best way to get that out and start to feel better is to literally get it out. It kind of reminds me of I'm not one for throwing up, not to be disgusting online or anything like that, but I hate it, and I will refuse to eat for days before I will throw up. But there have been times when I'm like, I got to get this stuff out. Got to let my body do this, you know what I'm saying? And it feels much better to just kind of get it out and begin to talk about it in the safest. And I want to say person, but he's not a person, but he isn't, because he's God and he created the whole stinking universe. But, being open and honest about how we're feeling about this situation that happened to us or is happening to us is a huge key in letting the healing begin. And I think a lot of people, including myself in the past, have struggled with that because we want to have the right answers, but sometimes we're just not feeling it, and that's okay. And sometimes the best way to get to feeling it is to let that stuff go and talk to God about it and be open and honest with him. He knows anyway.
Right.
I think, as a pastor, there's times when I really do have a sense that somebody is really hurting and they really need some encouragement. And I'm praying for them, but I can't talk to them about that because, it's nothing that they've talked to me about. I've had situations where they've come and they've said, hey, Jeff, by the way, I've really been dealing with this situation, dealing with this hurt. And it felt really good to be able to actually hear and talk to them about it because of the relationship that's involved there. And I think God's the same way. I mean, he knows how we're feeling. He knows what we're struggling with. But to be open and honest with him about how we're really feeling, that the part of that relationship really makes things a lot easier on us. What types of things were you thinking when I was saying all that, if there is anything? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way to put it. In order to be, we have to be honest. We have to honestly believe. Obviously, you need faith to receive healing.
Yeah.
But you have to be real. And God knows your heart, so you can't. People say fake it till you make it, but you can't.
I don't like that.
You can't fake it.
Yeah.
Because God knows your heart. He knows where your treasure is.
Yeah.
And I talked about where the on 4th and 10, about the storing your treasures not on things of this earth but in heaven.
Yeah.
In order to store your treasures in God and put your hope in Him,
Yep.
you have to be real with Him. He knows if you're desiring things on the earth more than Him, He's going to know it.
Yeah.
So there's no sense of not being real with God, because God knows us anyway.
He
we
does.
need to be honest and open with Him. We need to say when we need help with something.
Yeah.
And we have to be able to say, you know what, God, I give you the driver's seat. I give control. And
Absolutely.
it's up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to you to take care of healing. And I got to trust you. Just like, just so you think of all the people, the examples in the Bible of Moses leading the people to the promised land, and how, okay, so then they parted the Red Sea, then they doubted something else, and then so God just saying, trust you, and you just keep doing it until, you build trust, and you need to just tell God, you know what, He's got control, and it is what you need to get to the point where we don't worry about things. We give it to God, and we know that, it may not be in our timing or our way, but God will take care of it.
When you were sharing that, I was thinking a little bit about how, when you went through cancer when you were younger, like what, 13 maybe?
Yeah, 12, 13. Yeah.
12 or 13. I'm sure that you had some honest conversations with your parents about how you were feeling about it,
Yeah.
And I'm sure that made you feel better,
That's when my faith started. That's when I really started. I don't know. I had this supernatural... I had faith. My mom gave me Jeremiah 29:11. I have plans for you, plans to prosper you. I tell people this, I'm not lying. I never thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I had supernatural faith that this is not going to be fun, but I'm going to get through it. I'm going to be alive. I'm going to be. I had no doubt. I never thought I was going to die. No, and I didn't. But people would fear. Oh, you're going to die. Oh, it's cancer. There's no way. Well, this didn't happen to me. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's where I started becoming the pastor and the person I am today.
Yep.
I started, no way in hell. I'm not like Striper. To hell with the devil. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to live, and I'm going to put my faith in Jesus right now. And I believe my mom, and I believe my faith my mom has, and then I believe God. And that's kind of, so my faith my mom has now allowed me to have my own faith at an early age.
Yep.
At an early age, I said, okay, I'm not smoking. I'm not doing these things because God healed my body. I'm not going to do these things. I'm not, because God's a good God, and He healed me, and I'm never going to turn my back on Him. And I made that decision when I was 12. And you could see how I am now. When I'm faithful to my Bills, I'm faithful to Syracuse, I'm faithful to whoever, I'm faithful to the church, I'm faithful to whoever I'm faithful to. You know that I got I got their back. I got my team's back. I got your back. I got the church's back. I got whoever I kick on to.
Yeah.
I'm trustworthy, and you know that I'm going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
I got that from that time.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how our past molds us into the people that we are? I always think that our past I know we got to go to the next song, but I think that when trouble comes, we allow it to make us bitter or we allow it to make us better. And I think God is always leading us up the track of helping us to become better through trials and temptations. So, hey, you got a top 10 coming up.